Good afternoon, class. And first of all, I'd like to apologize for the quality of the video. I'm currently out of town working, so I'm working off my laptop and hotel internet. But moving on with the video discussion, we'll be discussing the necessity or how much government is too much government as the problem at the human scale. Um, Learning the necessity of government is a very important and necessary evil. All agree that to some extent we need to have government in order to regulate laws, to say what is allowed to happen and what is not allowed to happen, i.e., pass a red light, don't pass a red light, green, yellow, red, as our video discussions and this week's score said, and to something as extreme as murder, rape, robberies, and things like that. So we need laws to step in and government to step in and separate these things and make it seem and make it make sense to the individual that these things are not allowed. Um, the problem becomes is how much government is too much government. That's the real question. The question comes in front: how much? It's Thomas Paine, an 18th century philosopher, a great thinker, once said, "Society is in every state is a blessing, but government, even at its best state, is but a necessary evil. In its worst state, an intolerable one." End quote. Um, I think Thomas Paine hit it right on the head here. It's a necessary evil. It's something that we need to have in order to govern our ideas, our thoughts, and everything that we put into our communities. However, having too much government can also be extreme. Our founding fathers, for example, never felt the need to um, to have this extreme of government, to have a federal government step into a state government. States would govern their own people in each state, and the federal government would be more of a big brother, so to speak, that steps in to separate when a decision cannot be reached between states. Um, as you can see in today's government, we've kind of gotten away with that as depending more into federal government and less on your state government. A perfect example was the current situation with COVID-19. Everybody expected the federal government to do more and more and more when they should have been looking to their state government to provide some of these reliefs. Um, uh, However, we'll go back to the quote by Thomas Paine. This great thinker describes a problem with the human scale. We feel the need to add more, to create more laws, and more obstacles. Uh, Things change with time. There is no denying that. However, government has changed over the years, and it has morphed into something that even our founding fathers did not want, like I was speaking of just earlier. Yet, human scales in relation to our government is how much is enough. And the answer is just enough to make things functionable for its people. It is never meant to rule the people, only to govern and provide securities in larger matters. It was never a situation where we would be so dependent upon government to make every decision for us. It was more of a, the state and your mayors, your governors take care of the state and its people, and then the federal government steps in. Big brother steps in into a smaller matter. Another great philosopher who and a thinker of his time was Thomas Hobbes, and Thomas Hobbes was another man who believed firmly in government, that we needed government. Government was a necessity to the rule, and that it was the only way to keep people in line. We go. This was an easier thing done when kings ruled and the monarch had the end all be all, where whatever the king said is what was going to happen, and the king had his advisors, of course, but his final word was what was going to be done. And as the French Revolution took charge and pushed against the monarch and essentially toppled the monarchy, across Europe, other monarchies started falling. It was as if it just needed to happen one place, and then it would just create that domino effect, as our reading said. Um, the problem with the human scale is just that we are dependent upon others to do what we to do for us instead of us do for ourselves, and that has created a dependency on federal government that even our own founders did not want. Thank you very much. It's been a great course, and I wish you all well, and thank you for listening.